Get everybody nice and join in the pledge this morning.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Sure, a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Sport.
Okay, we've got a motion made by Brenda, support by Todd. Any questions or anything on the agenda? All right. Move forward to public comment. 3 minutes per person. Doesn't look like we really have
There might be a lot of people online that
much public. Anybody online?
Nope.
Okay. Nice, short and sweet. Okay, we'll move on to Northern Lights update in financials.
Well, we're working on getting Miller over. We've got hard copies. Our copy machine is not allowing us to PDF them and send them over to you guys email wise. I believe we're a little bit behind on it. The gal that comes and does our books or whatever helps us out with it, does it after hours and then misplaced for the season. Currently, right now, though, we have probably, I think it's around $80,000 in the bank. Just got done with probably one of the largest tournaments we've ever had, or second largest tournament we've ever had last month. We have high school regionals coming up here this weekend, and Pee Wee States next weekend. So lots of good stuff coming down the pipe, and financially doing good.
Good.
So
Good. Do you think you might be able to get that stuff to Jesse in the next week or two?
yeah, for sure.
Okay, even if you have to just print it and drop off a physical copy, that's fine. He can send it out.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, just on, so I did look into, and you haven't turned one in since September.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the other thing that I noticed too is I didn't see an annual budget. Do you have that as well?
We're working on that.
Working on that also. And that's, I don't know if that's all the hard copies of,
Is this one or is this the whole thing?
that's each month since September,
Oh,
October, I guess, through current.
I'd have to look and see, but I think with our contract, that usually do what, quarterly?
monthly.
It's completely, I was behind. It was,
Financial.
Monthly.
Gotcha. Okay,
I don't know if anyone wants to look at these, but I'll bring these over because normally the treasurer gets them
okay.
and they keep them in their book. So
Yeah, maybe we just have,
I talked to Cindy and I told her about like me being behind on it, and then like our printer wasn't working, so I couldn't get him for recording. So she said just to bring out a hard copy today.
okay, well, I usually go over there, so I'll take these over afterwards.
Okay.
okay. Maybe you could just have her send them out.
Yep.
Okay, great. All right. Anything else going on over at the Northern Lights that we want to discuss?
Well, you got the,
Oh, yeah, we have, tentatively, we haven't, given them the deposit yet, but we have a rodeo coming back, in May for Mother's Day. And we're really close to having that all set and wrapped up, so.
Good.
Should be a good thing. In the past, it wasn't a big moneymaker for us. So we shied away from it. And I had people approach me to do it again. And I think it's gonna be a moneymaker for us this time, or it's just not gonna happen. That's why we're trying to get everything in order in place.
Gotcha.
and you take the ice down to do that?
The ice will be going down in rink one, April 17th, I believe it is.
Which one is rink one, the main one or
The
the?
main sheet, yeah, the pond.
Does it have anything? Because I know we do have on our list here to talk about recycling, and I'm sure that's a wonderful topic to discuss.
Recycling bin. Yeah, yep.
Well, just the whole recycling. So, I know Jesse and I went out after the, last week, after our facilities, I guess Rachel had a conversation, or Bailey or whoever, somebody had a conversation about the recycling bins. And I don't know, because I'm only hearing the information from Rachel, but she had said that they had asked you, or someone had asked about plowing out the recycling bins, and, you know, everything's easy if you don't do it. So she said, it's just one swipe. That's all I asked them to do, is one swipe in. And I know when Jesse and I went over there the other day, and actually, it's interesting, I got a copy of the deed, which she actually went and got, I don't know what she did, but she wanted to make this a big deal, that, or maybe not make it a big deal, but say that the recycling bins weren't technically on the property or whatever. But if you look at this, the deed that I got from equalization, and I don't know who did this, but, you know, and I'm sure this is pretty close to it, but that line, the deed line, actually goes through, I guess, if you look at those parking spaces, the first two closest to the building, then the next two, the third set of parking spaces technically isn't even on Northern Lights property. So, which is kind of interesting because it belongs to the Alpena County Soccer Fields Association. And from what I talked to Ted, actually, I got the deed here. It belongs to, I don't know if it's Thunder Bay, I don't know who it is. It says it's Alpena Soccer Association. And it belongs to them in perpetuity as long as they maintain it for the existence or the use of soccer fields. So technically, those recycling bins aren't even on Northern Lights property, Alpena County's property. So that, I don't know if that's an issue. I don't think it's an issue, but I just kind of wanted to hear, at least from you, how that whole thing transpired, because I know Rachel made it out like super easy. I just asked him to go in and make a one swipe, and she's mad, they're mad because apparently what they wanted to offer you and what you said you'd do it for, two different prices. And again, when you, in my mind, when you negotiate a contract or negotiate what you're gonna do, the price is part of that. So I think in her mind, she said, we'll give you $500 and that should be good enough, and go from there. So I just wanted to find out from you, what was your side of it? Because again, I'm only hearing her side.
So to put one swipe in there, I don't understand how that works when you plow snow.
Well, I know, I saw,
I mean,
and the other thing she told me was that she wasn't expecting you to have to plow, because when we went there and I told her, I said, Jeremy plowed between every single dumpster that he could and pushed the snow. So again, are we gonna have the recycling people come out shovel? I don't know what again, I was never part of this, I guess, negotiation with this, because she's telling me that if you didn't want to do it, she can get somebody to do it. And again, I don't know who or what they're talking about.
yeah, I wasn't part of the negotiation of the bins being put there either.
And that's another thing that kind of Bill mentioned as well.
And so,
Well, just to go, okay, let's talk about that. So what I was told on that was that I think, I don't know, you're probably going to remember better than I do, but what did it initially start with recycling bins out there?
oh, I think it's been 3 or 4 years ago.
Initial.
And initially, Don Gilmet had come by and said,
Was this when he was a commissioner?
correct. And it said, hey, you know, we were looking at this, would you guys mind? And Dave Guzman and I at the time were partners with the business and we said, yeah, we do kind of mind, but you know, because we're worried about garbage being all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, and what this is gonna entail. And we were kind of told, well, we wanted to talk to you about it, but it's probably really not your choice anyways. And it was left at that. They're gonna show up. Okay. They're there. Well, then that was 4 bins. Now it's turned into 8 bins. And that definitely wasn't discussed or asked. It was just like, this is what's happening.
Well, and I did ask at the time, I've said from the beginning, I said, was this all coordinated with Jeremy? And they said, yeah, he's okay with it.
And that's, I'm not trying to make waves, but as this has went on, you know, whether or not that property is the soccer fields or it's Northern Lights Arenas or it's the counties and I've leased it from them. In the past 15 years, I've been named in 3 slip and fall incidents in that parking lot or sidewalk.
You're talking down by where the recycling bins are or just the whole
Just-
parking lot?
At that facility.
Yeah.
I plow it. I'm responsible for it. Now, the traffic has increased tenfold in that parking lot. I've had 2 employees almost get hit by people in the middle of the summer on their hands and knees, replacing pavers in the middle of our parking lot that Ron McDonald had asked us to take care of for the county because it's a liability. But it actually is my liability. It's not your liability. It's not the cities, it's not the counties, but this is all being placed on me. I don't need more work and I don't need more expense at my small business. It struggles enough as it is. And so now for the decision to be made, for this to just be dumped on me, I want to know who made the decision and why Northern Lights Arena?
And we did ask so when they talked about moving them over, that's when I said, did someone talk to Jeremy? Initially, I said, how about we move them in back of City Hall? And they weren't too thrilled about that, obviously.
Right, because I'm Cindy and
Rachel,
had come over and talked to me about it. And said, you know, what are the problems? What do we need to do? And at that time, they said, well, you know, potentially we have some money, maybe we can help you, you know, and pay for plowing or whatever. Well, as you know, I've been Northern Lights Arena, or Jess and I, however you want to look at it, have been put on trial online because we cut the grass over there around that stuff. I mean, so outwardly appearing, those bins have made me and our business look bad. And I didn't.
well, I do know that when they moved them initially, we had 8 and people were just dumping all kinds of junk. And Bill and I said that. I said, somebody needs to be responsible for that because it shouldn't be you.
And they still do. And this whole thing started the other morning when I went to plow it out and there was a box spring and mattress leaning up against one of the bins. And so I did what I was told to do as the city's free attendant and called Bailey Barr, the manager of the facility or what they have going there. He came over and took care of it. And that's when I was informed and frankly, thoroughly insulted that they wanted to pay $500 to have it taken care of and done. And I had worked out and figured what I had looked at as a pretty fair deal. I wanted $1,750 to plow them for the season, one-time fee. It's based off an average of 11 plowable snowfalls per season at the rate that I charge the rink to take care of the place, because I can't do it for free. But I do charge a very fair rate of, in the past 5 or 6 years, it's $55 an hour. You will not find anybody that Goodrich, Lazinski, any fair and square, anybody that's plowing snow is not doing it for that price. I have a question out to the city as to what it costs them per truck, per hour, per driver, with benefit. I don't have the answer yet, but I know I'm way under that at $55 an hour.
Well, and I'm sure in their mind, they're already paying somebody, so they're not, I'm sure that's what their thought is, that if they're already paying someone, and again, I don't know, I'm assuming that they're just gonna get a city truck over there to plow, and is that within the city?
It's
It's not actually, it's the county.
Well,
That property,
But it's in,
so now you're gonna have the city, which is, it's cut out around, I mean, yeah, that property's county, whether it's the rink or it's the soccer association, I mean, you just said on the deed,
Yeah.
it's the county, I mean, either way.
well, just because it belongs to the county doesn't mean it's, I mean, it's in the county, the city's in the county, but we have, this is county property within the city, so just because it's county doesn't mean it's,
well, I make a
Outside.
suggestion here that we should just tell the association to get that dumpsters out of there.
well, I think to go back to the original, I guess Don Gilmet, when he was a county commissioner, maybe, and again, that was never brought to any, at least from my perspective. Do you remember anything, Brenda?
No,
I don't think that I've ever remember hearing that
I never
someone
brought it to the board.
someone made a decision that we're gonna move the recycling bins. I've been under the impression that there was an agreement with you, you were good with it. And then again, when we brought out, or they brought out the additional dumpsters, that this was all talked to you about and you were good with it.
And we had very adamantly stated, you're telling us it's gonna be here, but if it becomes a problem, I'm gonna speak up, it's not, why is my LLC taking on work, liability in another job for somebody that now doesn't even want to pay me or even remotely pay me fairly? I mean, to plow one squat in there, the 20-ton truck that comes in there doesn't fit in that one spot that drags those bins halfway across the parking lot.
That was the other thing I said, because I said, how's that gonna impact, because who's responsible? It's a paved parking lot. When we have damage to the parking lot, how does that get repaired?
Right, when I sell an hour of ice, I'm required to pay you guys $1. When I sell a ticket at the counter for somebody to go into a game, I'm required to pay you guys $1. Now I've just incurred more expense. Nobody's getting paid anything and the place is getting used. I mean, I was literally plowing the other day and watched someone drive across the front sidewalk into the back, from the front parking lot to the back parking lot. And I'm thinking, great, now they wrecked their car. Again, who's liable or who's gonna be mad or where's the phone call going? Cause it's not coming here. Cause everybody that lives in Alpena is gonna say, oh, well, it's Northern Lights Arena. Well, we'll call there. Who's the manager? It's on me.
So,
And I know it wasn't free for that parking lot to be paved. And I mean, I've tried to protect that parking lot or discussed that parking lot with other people in this room. You know, to be worried about protecting it and saving the beautiful gem that we have in this community. That I'm baffled that I'm in this position or even having this conversation. I'm at the point where I just want them out of there.
So let me just say this. First of all, you know, this is the first that I'm, again, hearing from you on this. Because when I asked them, they're saying that the city, Rachel, whoever, is saying that this was all discussed with you and you were fine with it. So I know that I've said that I wouldn't be fine with it if someone decided, you know, we went from whatever, 3 dumpsters to 8 dumpsters. And now and again, they're saying that the recycling is going to pick it up. Apparently, the former manager, Brad Musso, was supposed to go out and pick up any of the junk, but I know how that is because I show up to the recycling center in Ossaneek and I'm constantly seeing junk there. So when you have 8 dumpsters and now this is the central location for Alpena to go take their recycling, you're going to have more people dropping off more junk.
I have a question. Aren't they supposed to contact us about where they're placing their dumpsters?
Well, so again, I go back to Cindy and Rachel, or I don't know who had the conversation, but from what I'm told, when Bill and I went to the recycling meeting, I asked that question, did you ask Jeremy to move those dumpsters? When they initially went from the 3, whatever it was, to the 8, they said yes, and you were fine with that.
They did not.
And I also
was told.
discussed that the impact of the dumpsters on that pavement, especially where they're putting them at the edge, it doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out. You're putting these heavy dumpsters on and off, it's going to damage the concrete over time. And
Right.
I know out in Ossaneek, it's not a concrete or paved area, it's just gravel, so it doesn't really matter. But
I make a motion that we get the dumpsters out of there. Have them, tell them they gotta remove the dumpsters. We'll give them 6 months to figure out where they want to put them. At 1st of September, if they're not out of there, we'll get them out of there ourselves.
You're gonna leave them there for 6 months?
Well, we gotta, so here's the problem with that. So no, just because of what Jeremy's saying, nobody wanted the dumpsters, the Ollie's wanted them out. I think there was a conversation with putting them over at Big Lots. I don't know. I'm not, what I understood was nobody wanted the dumpsters because of the potential trash that'll come with the dumpsters.
So the city garage is only a mile away. Why don't we just move over there?
There's plenty of room over there at the city garage. If they clean up that yard a little bit, they can put them over there along the fence by the railroad track. And they can control the hours and everything else because they got a gate there.
There's the-
Do whatever they want.
Only a mile away geographically, and there's a lot of room. They're here right now.
Yep.
And this is the city garage.
Oh, okay.
There's 22.5 acres there that they have. And a lot of area. And really, I mean, it is a problem because the property that they're on right now is not ours. It's not his. So, you know, I think they probably should be moved much sooner than later.
It's not up to us to.
Let's, John and I are on the committee there, so we can deliver the, you tell us to get.
Shouldn't take 6 months to move. 8
Well, but I wouldn't say you have to have them gone tomorrow because
Well, right.
that's.
Got to give them time to yard cleaned up so they have a place to put them, so, we can discuss that. John and I can discuss that with them. We'll get it, we'll just tell them we want them out of there.
But getting back to my other question I asked John, so they can move their dumpsters wherever they want and not ask the county?
No, well,
It was told to me by them that they were told they could put them there by the county.
But they weren't.
Well, and again, you remember when I said that, Bill, I said, how about you put them behind City Hall? They didn't want that.
They didn't want to do that. Well, they got plenty of room over at the city garage to put them over there. If they clean up that a little bit over there, they got plenty of room for 8 dumpsters over there. And they'll be out of the way. That's an industrial area. There's a little bit of garbage there.
Yeah.
There's a fence. It's not gonna be blowing all over the place, so.
Right.
And they've got maintenance men that can clean it up, so.
Do we need a motion on that?
We should
So let's just,
maybe have a plan B too with county properties, so in case for some reason.
I was looking here and I don't see any county property close.
Something else that puzzles me is that it's a city thing and there's less than a quarter mile away from Northern Lights Arena, there's a city parking lot that they plow and take care of.
Where's that at,
Over
Jeremy?
Trailhead, on the other end of the property that they're already on.
Oh,
Basically,
yeah, she just told me about, she was just telling me about that. She mentioned something about having to maintain, I think that's why it came up, because she's like, we have to go up to maintain the city head
the
trail.
trailhead for the snowmobile
Yeah.
that they just put in. There's cameras there.
Oh, that's how it came up, because she wanted to talk. I don't know if the cameras are actually functioning or working, but they said that whatever, or maybe they are, because she said that they potentially, we were talking about the cameras for Northern Lights too, and she said something about potentially being able to tap into that Wi-Fi or whatever it is.
Well, they do, it's clear they have options. And we do need to do something, I think, much sooner than later, because it's not on, right now, they're not on our property and they're not on his property. So we should probably get them off before we have additional issues.
Well, and again, going back to my original point that what was relayed to me was that everything was coordinated with you and you were fine. So,
Like I say, I was willing to allow it to be there as long as it didn't become a problem for us.
well, when you go from 3 to 5, and again, now you've taken what you've done, or what has happened is all those dumpsters, they took the 3 dumpsters that were behind Neiman's. They took a dumpster that was at the high school. So, and I can't remember, I think if there was 5 dumpsters that were added, there must have been one other dumpster that they pulled, but they pulled them from the other locations and centralized it. So now you've got more dumpster, which is good for them because they're going back and forth to one location. But now you've got one centralized location that has more trash being, with the ability to people dump, and especially, and I know that's one of the reasons that they wanted to put the cameras in. It's kind of tucked back in the corner. No one sees. I just go dump all my old junk and have them figure it out. So,
well, let's tell them to get them out of there and then we'll figure out a time. That's Larry.
What's the county obligated to do as far as this recycling?
well, so it's a county-wide program. We take in the surcharge money, the $25 surcharge. But I don't, the Northeast, what is it? Northeast
Material Management.
Material Management Association. That's an authority that is running the recycling program with members from each township. Alpena Township has 2, county has 2, and the city has 2. So that authority is made up from members from people throughout the county.
But what are we obligated to do as the county as far as the recycling is concerned?
Nothing.
We're the fiduciary, so basically a pass through for the money that we collect. But what I would keep in mind is it being an authority, though, the city is no more obligated to take those dumpsters than we are.
Yeah.
So again, I that's why I say we should have maybe more than one option. I apologize. But definitely where they're sitting right now isn't working. So I can work with Wes. I know we have a couple pockets of property that I just learned about recently. I don't know if those might work, but let me.
Fairgrounds.
It was there once,
Was it?
at the beginning of COVID, and they needed to go out of there too because of the garbage blowing around.
It was there during COVID?
Right at the beginning of COVID, right about that time,
Where were they over there?
right at the front gate.
No.
There was 3 of them there.
Maybe they should put them at City Hall behind it.
Well, that's what I said.
The
They've
garbage.
got room at the
Biggest
city.
concern is my liability if somebody slip and
Have them do
fall,
that.
and my insurance rate's going up again. I mean,
Well, my understanding those, I mean, we do know though that that's not technically on the property you lease, so it wouldn't be your liability, it would be the county's.
But
The-
technically,
It's at his facility though, so he's gonna get named in it no matter what.
Yeah.
Because nobody, anybody, the public isn't gonna know the difference.
I've been named in 3 lawsuits on slip and falls, and I know that the county wasn't involved in any of it.
Was it county property or was it at the Northern Lights Arena?
At Northern Lights Arena.
The plot of land that those dumpsters sit on is not on the leased land. Right? It's
But
my understanding, so that would
but
fall.
I'm plowing it, Jesse,
I know.
and so then therefore, who is gonna get blamed for it? If it is or isn't plowed, if somebody slips and falls, who do they wanna talk to?
Right.
Oh, who's the person plowing the parking lot? Was it plowed? Was it salted? The last 2 times that this has happened to me, instantly, the insurance company calls me and says, do you have documentation as to what time that parking lot was plowed last? Was it salted? And do you have video?
Legally, you're not liable to plow that portion of the parking lot though. So I don't think that if that particular portion of the property, I'm just saying, legally, if they were to slip over there, that does not fall on, your insurance doesn't cover that plot of land. Ours does. Either way, somebody's liable. It's either the county or Jeremy, who contracts with us. So I'm not disagreeing that's a bad place. I'm just disagreeing with legally who would be liable. It would fall on.
Well, you could take care of the liability part, but the authority would have to lease where the dumpsters are sitting and then probably take care of it themselves.
Not,
but it
I do that up in Grand Marais with my,
can't do that because the deed literally says it needs to be used for the sole purpose of soccer. And if we're putting dumpsters.
there's the answer then.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's tell them to get them out of there.
Yeah.
So we've got a motion on the floor from Bill.
Motion, you gotta get a
I'll
second.
support.
So we've got a motion in support. And, I would just ask, because the way your motion was stated with the 6 months mentioned, I would ask you if you would amend it
I'll amend it to give
60 days so we can find some resolution.
them 60 days to get it out.
Is that acceptable?
Reasonable length of time anyway.
With you two on the group, with that board, do you think that's acceptable?
Yeah, he's going down for this, not me.
Hey, okay, it's a good program. Nobody wants to see it fail, but unfortunately, there are liabilities involved that we need to address.
And that's, I know I'm gonna get a black eye out of this, and because whether you guys make the decision or not, why did they leave Northern Lights Arena? Oh, because Winterstein was against it, and I'm not against it. I just can't afford to take the chance or have it cost me money. And I also think that it's a bad spot for it to be when we have thousands of people from out of town coming to see that. That the nicest place that, that the county owns. The airport's a great thing, sure, but thousands of people don't come through there a weekend.
Sure.
I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Stay off of Facebook.
I know, but I have people walk into the building. She's been talked to about it. Everybody at the front counter's been talked to about it, from anything from my kid almost got hit by somebody cutting across the parking lot to
Well,
why are these things here? And just, they're a bad location. You and I discussed it. You're coming from Osneek. Do you want to cross all the way across town?
no, I was mad when they pulled them out from Neiman's. I'm like, I showed up one day and they're all, or well, we knew they were going to go, but I'm like, I've been irritated with how the recycling has worked. It's gotten better because when I show up, and I've told them this, when I show up to dump stuff into Osneek at the recycling center and both dumpsters are full, that irritates me because now and I don't just put one bag of recycling. I load up my Jeep so it's packed. So now I got to go home and unload that. Or she's like, well, you could bring them into the Northern Lights. I live in Osneek. I don't want to come all the way into town just to unload my recycling stuff. So,
And we field those and have those conversations weekly, and we're not, Don't have anything to. do with
Well,
that.
like I said, it's unfortunate because what was relayed to me was, and again, Brenda and I were on the board when Don was on the board, but that was never brought to the full board to say, hey, we're going to do this. I think what, to be honest with you, he was on the recycling board, and because he was a commissioner, he made the decision. Maybe he made the decision and talked to, because at the time, it didn't matter what Brenda and I thought. The board was going to pass whatever they decided to pass. And maybe it was brought to somebody else, maybe the chairman at the time, and he said, sure, go ahead and do that. I don't know. I can't speak to what happened, but I know for a fact that it never came to the board to say, hey, we're going to do this. You guys good with that? It always came to me that we've talked to Jeremy and Jeremy's good with that.
Okay, we got the motion in a second. Let's vote on it.
Yep. So we've got the motion amended. We're gonna get with the authority, give 60 days to get these things figured out.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got more.
Who's doing that? We'll make Jesse do that?
Sure. Jesse's a good fall guy. All right, so we've got a motion and support. We don't need a roll call vote on that, do we? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. We'll move on to the next one.
So let me just say this. So what I would ask is if you have problems or in the future, you need to bring those problems to this board because again, I was under the impression for the last, 3, 4, however many years it was, that this was discussed with you and you were good with that. So I just ask in the future that if you do have problems with Northern Lights, again, probably in the contract, any problems that are part of Northern Lights running the arena need to be brought back to the Board of Commissioners.
Okay. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll move on to the pool update.
Hello. So last month we did actually pretty good. We had 4,004 visitors, which is the highest we've had in January ever, back to 2017. We're just finishing up the swim season. I think in our financials, we were 11,000 in the black, but that didn't cover, I haven't seen a power bill or heat bill, gas bill. So I haven't seen that come through, but that's a good buffer to start. We have Ready Set Swim going on. Those have been canceled. I've been rescheduling those so that we can recoup our money. I have been finding some things like Coach Swim and which is Coach Homeschool. That's, the homeschools, there's partnership and Coach. Those have not been paid for under Ready Set Swim in several years. So I'm trying to find somebody to either sponsor that or something.
So the
I'm in charge.
homeschoolers get the short end of the stick?
No, they've been coming for free.
Oh,
The pool gets the short end of the stick.
so why wouldn't Youth and Rec cover them as well?
Youth and Rec in the grant covers APS schools and the parochial schools.
See, I don't think that's fair that we have and it's probably a small minority of kids. I think maybe moving forward, we probably need to get with Youth and Rec, or maybe actually, who files that Ready, Set, Swim? Is it you or the pool?
It will be me now. It was.
So I would just ask that moving forward, you do the APS, the parochial, and then Coach.
Yeah.
And it's easy to.
They didn't give enough for all of APS, to be honest.
What's that?
The Youth and Rec didn't honor enough for all of APS. The total cost for all those schools will be 9,600 and we got 7,500. So I have to raise some money with sponsorships anyways.
So then how are you covering the kids that come in for Coach?
I'm gonna find some sponsors. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I just found out that they weren't getting covered.
I did go through the numbers yesterday and she's right, the revenue is up and the expenditures are down. So we're in a good spot right now. And I did actually include the light bill. I was able to pull that for February. You're about $4,000 in the black after everything's said and done. That's only the first month. That's only January. So we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, well, last year at this time, we were told that we had a, what was it? $27,000, 25. Yeah, so
Yeah.
just hold your words for now.
We have been having issues with the heating, but I've been working with CSI, so we're trying to, they have me so that I can at least troubleshoot before they get there, so that they're not always having to come in for every little thing.
Are you guys still doing stuff with that also, Wes?
At the pool,
Yeah,
if we had to replace a vent motor, I know, just recently, but what kind of problems I guess this is the first I've heard of that they're ongoing, but
Oh, it's just it's with the men's locker room. I don't think it's anything that you can do. It's a part for them. CSI, I don't know.
I'll check with them.
Okay. I was gonna say, I have a thing out from January 31st. If you could replace some lights in the back office so I can see, that would be great.
You might not want to see what's back there.
I might not. I mean, it is only 42 degrees back there. But other than that, everything's been going good. I did find out that Square One is something we've had coming for a couple years. I've set up, which is underwater ROV competitions. They're taking that to Gaylord, so I'm gonna find out how I can get them back. And then I do have Noah from Washington State coming the first week of March and renting it out.
Sure.
So,
I remember I was at the high school the last time they had that ROV thing in there. They did bring quite a crowd. It would be nice to get that back.
yes.
I just heard as I was coming in this morning that Jeff Gray was talking about, I thought it was a big ROV competition.
That will be in June.
So does,
They do it at Noah.
so everything is done at that pool over at Noah?
Yeah, but the robotics team here does rent out our pool for practice.
Oh.
And I do talk to Dave Moffett. He's the one that actually runs the underwater ROV competition in June. I've been talking to him in case they need overflow, that, I'll be ready. Because we're gonna do our shutdown in May.
Yeah. All right. Anything else for us?
Hope not.
Us too. All right. Well, thank you for the update. I'm glad to hear things are going better.
Yes.
So just one question.
Yeah.
So I know one of the issues that we've had in the past and is Wes been buying? Because in the past you used to buy stuff. Have you been buying all this stuff so we don't have the taxes on it?
I haven't put in an order yet.
Yeah, I don't know, you were gonna get a credit card too or something?
It's, yeah, we approved that.
Right, but I still don't have access to where you guys buy the supplies from. And I'm only allowed 500 at a time, so.
So what I do is I buy, toilet tissue and brown roll towel. Typically 50 cases at a time. I get a better price by buying that quantity. And then like what goes to the jail, I just bill out to the jail, or if some of it goes to the health department, we keep track when we deliver and where to, and then I can go back when we get low. I bill it out, treasurer's office puts the money back from those department line items back into janitorial supplies in my budget. That way I have money to go out and pre-order.
So,
So you
You
could
do the
just add
same
the
thing
pool.
with the pool if you would like.
yeah, I was just gonna say that would probably work better for you then you don't have to worry about ordering.
And you guys do soap and stuff too.
But then,
Soap and stuff too, more than paper towel and TP.
yeah, we have, for our cleaning products, we have State Chemical. They put in dispensers. They supply the dispensers, they install it, all you gotta do is buy the product from them. For mop water, for disinfectant, for glass cleaner, it's all in one unit. And then when we get, I buy a couple cases of all-purpose cleaner, a case of glass cleaner, there's like 6 jugs. And then it goes out to whatever building needs it.
Wait, doesn't that sound simple?
I did.
Compared to what I've been dealing with.
I mean, I can get a hold of them. If you want dispensers put in, maybe you can get them for a single product. You can get them for, just two products. You don't have to use all four of them, but
Well, I know we did that at the base too. You get the dispensers and now you're just buying the things that go in the dispensers, the soap. So,
containers of
and
product.
you buy a case of that, you're probably good. Well, I don't know if you're good for a year, but
For a while.
yeah, you'd be good for a while.
Mhm.
And it pre-mixes everything.
Right. And
Every
just so
once in
you
a
guys
while,
know, the lifeguards are the ones that can the pool.
Every once in a while, if you notice something, you can call State Chemical. They'll come in, they'll clean the dispenser, they will calibrate the dispenser, all you gotta do is buy the product.
Or maybe you and Wes could have lunch one day,
Right?
save you some money there as well.
Exactly.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, on to you, Wes.
Well, we're still having trouble with the MDOT building, the HVAC, Control Solutions has been, as far as I know, they've been in contact with the engineer, we had talked to. And I haven't heard no more. I haven't seen a quote. I'll have to get back with them on that one. But it's an issue that was designed into the building. We're not getting complaints on anything. This is, I guess something that probably should be fixed, but I don't think it's a high priority myself, so. The three trees that we talked about at the health department, Tony's tree service came in, they took those down. There was also a smaller, popple and a birch that were kind of leaning out over the parking lot. He took them down also. He actually did that on New Year's Day. That's all cleaned up and done. The concrete repairs for the steps here, the stairs at the back of 911 and the front of Department of Corrections. I paid the 50% down. We're on the list, so it will be first thing in the spring. Get that done. Recently, we've been working on plaster repair at the courthouse. We got the registered deeds office done, page up, a little bit more to do in the treasurer's office. We are now, sure, most of you know, we're down another person now. So with the snow, the way it's been and stuff, we haven't really started any big problems. We've been trying to keep up with work tickets, cleaning building, snow removal, and all that sort of stuff. So no other big projects. We had a heat issue at the 7-Eleven building. The building was too hot. We found no air to the controllers, which a loss of air throws the system into all heat. So we got that repaired. We had to put in a new controller to do that. That controller was, say, about $1,500. It was a mixed air sensor bad, which was telling the controller to do crazy things. So we had to replace that. That was, I believe, another $1,500 or something like that for that sensor. There was a boiler inspection done over there yesterday. We have a leaky, and I don't know how it started leaking. We were in there all last week trying to chase down these air issues and stuff. There was no water on the boiler room floor, and as of yesterday, I was sent a picture that says we have a pressure relief valve leaking. So I'm gonna have to get with Control Solutions. Somebody, they're gonna have to come over, isolate that boiler, drain the boiler down, change the pressure relief. And get that one taken care of, so. Just the little things every day, you know.
That's not something that our guys would do.
You know, you have to be certified
Okay,
to do that with a boiler.
okay.
Should Controlled Solutions have picked up on that, Lee?
Pardon me?
Controlled Solutions, should they have picked up on
It
that?
wasn't leaking.
Oh.
I literally walked in between the two boilers
Okay,
and I can show you the picture. If it was wet, I'd have walked in.
so who turned in the thing saying it was?
They had a insurance company
Okay,
came in to do the inspection on the boilers.
okay,
That's the report that the inspector sent back. I have not been over there to see. I wouldn't be surprised if you shut that one boiler down,
okay.
which, you know, we still got another boiler that'll heat the building. It's not gonna give us problems, but it still needs to be addressed and taken care of, so.
If it were leaking, would Controlled Solutions have picked up on that? Is that one of
Oh,
the?
yeah, I would have, there'd been water on the floor. I'd wondered why there was water on the floor.
I just want to make sure if there was we paid Controlled Solutions a lot of money to monitor this stuff for us and know when there's issues with our equipment. So if they missed it and it got to the point where an insurance guy found it.
Just that 7-Eleven building has no controls in it.
Oh, okay.
It's all pneumatic still. It needs.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize that.
It needs to be
Okay.
switched over, but I get it. You're in a lease situation and I checked the price, to put them in. That was back while the state was still renting that building and it was around $120,000 back then. So you're probably looking at a couple $100,000 now to do it. And if you're gonna sell a building or
Yeah.
one of them things that.
For now, we'll just fix it.
So I talked to Leslie actually this morning. Now, everything's running fine. Leslie is their manager over there. Everything's running fine over there. She's happy, the employees are happy, so.
Yeah.
I will be due, I started I started this morning cleaning up the parking lot. I'll be looking for contractor either today or tomorrow or something. Get in here and start hauling some snow out.
Push it in the street.
That'd make it easy. I don't know how to pay for it. But,
Where do you take it, to the fairgrounds?
yeah, I'll have to get a spot out for them to dump it.
Just dump it down the back where it goes into the river. It's eventually gonna go there anyway, right?
Well, we got years and years ago, before I was superintendent, we got in trouble for dumping the stuff too close to the river.
Well, it's funny, in Massachusetts, that's what they do. They take it to the ocean and just dump it in the ocean.
They used to do that here too, but they quit doing it because of all the garbage and the snow, mufflers and everything else. They don't want them in the creek.
Yeah, I just cleaned a spot out in front of animal control there between animals. Not directly next to it, but a little bit towards the river.
Pile it up so you don't see the building.
Just about, you're gonna be at the right angle to see the building now with the stalls of piles of snow are from the
Yeah.
last storm, but yeah, we'll get that cleaned up. I'll get the one at the courthouse. That stuff over there, we don't normally haul away. We just put it on the green area between the parking lot.
So you're just using our loader to,
I started this morning. I came in at 4:30 this morning so I could get the power in before the employees started coming in. We'll get that center island cleaned off. And then we'll have somebody come in with a truck.
do we know anybody with the truck?
I might know a guy. We'll give you the family discount. All right. Okay, anything else? That's on your ticket. How's your training, your replacement going?
We are, and yeah, it's going all right. I'm good.
Yeah.
Now got access to building controls so he could look around, I guess, see the different set points, the different,
I haven't got that yet. We're still waiting.
oh, you didn't? I gotta talk to Control Solutions anyway. I'll put a reminder. Oh, let me talk to him. But he's got access to work tickets now. I've had Logan and Kyle and I've set him up so he can see what goes through and And I've showed him a couple different times, I probably will have to get, programming the code locks and for both codes and cards. So yeah, we're picking away at stuff.
Good.
That's what you teach them about the elevator too. That's another.
Nothing wrong with that elevator,
Oh, no.
It takes 20 minutes to go up one floor.
Yeah,
but going down, it's okay.
yeah.
You save the time going down.
Then you wonder if you're gonna be able to get out after you get up. Awful.
All right. So nothing else from Wes then, I guess. Has everyone had a chance to look through the recycling reports? Any questions or anything?
I'll make a motion that we receive and file that.
I'll support.
Yeah, we got motion and support. Commissioner Hay and Commissioner Fournier. Any questions or anything? All right. All in favor of receiving the report, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, we'll receive that. Motion passes. Fairground Manager, monthly report.
Good morning. I've got my numbers for January. Pretty slow right now at the fairgrounds, but yeah, I couldn't do anything without these guys keeping the snow plowed and everything. We really got hit hard over there, but I've got the fairgrounds completely booked for Fair Week. Everything's going great there. I've already got everybody made their deposits and everything, so we shouldn't have any issue there. I've been booking the merchants building for events and things like that. Still, the animal control's gotten better about, they call us and notify us now where they never did before. And recently that's gotten a little bit better, but I'm still a little worried with people showing up and not notifying us. And I've already had a clash with 4-H and animal control one day because one of them scheduled with me and then animal control popped up and we're utilizing the building and we had to get them out real quick. But everything's going good at the fairgrounds. We're looking forward to the next season. Eventually, like, we need to get the outside of the main bathrooms painted. That's the only thing that's kind of a real eyesore that I see that I would like to get done. The inside bathrooms look great. The guys worked on the ceilings, repainting. It just looks a lot better than it used to look. We got the fence painted around the track. And like I said, I've gotten nothing but great response since we taken over, and everybody's real excited to see we've taken it over and what we have lined up. And I am too. We are working on a grant right now to help restore the
Grandstands?
that's it. Alpena County Fairgrounds right now. So yeah, we are working on a grant to try to see if we can do something about restoring the grandstands.
Who are you working on the grant with?
It's through NIMCOG is helping us. They located a grant and it's for $100,000. There is a match, but we're working on finding a workaround on that. So
Is it something that I have to approve in my grants?
eventually,
My grant sucks.
I'm not sure. They didn't tell us exactly where they located this grant. So they're kind of the middleman. So we're dealing with NIMCOG and then they're dealing with the actual grant.
I was up late last night trying to figure out all the stuff that they wanted me to do. Fortunately, Becky Rivard from
Oh, yeah.
Huron Engineering literally said, 1, do this, 2, do that. I'm like, oh, this is so much easier. Because if you don't go in the grants, it's miserable.
Is that something that you're working on the Fair Board also?
Not as of yet. It's still like in the beginning planning stages.
Okay.
So,
I might want to get with Courtney over there. They're pretty excited about everything coming up too. If they can help you, I'm sure that they would.
I think that, I read the email that was sent out and it says it's for Alpena County fairs.
Yeah.
So I don't know that the county's even eligible to apply for a grant. It might have to go through the fair board, but with the county's blessing, I think as far as grandstand goes, the first thing we need to do is have a study done to make sure that the building structure is even worth putting money into,
Heard that a few times.
Yeah, I know it. And we get some grant money to get it done because I don't believe it's gonna be real cheap to get it done, but I think that'd be a good spot to start.
Didn't we pay that group to look at that already once?
The Fair Board?
I think, no, the study, I think that was in that Yeah, I do think I remember that when I,
Because it was very expensive.
yeah. I'll go through Mary Catherine's files and find out, because yeah, I'm almost positive that
Yeah.
was part of that.
I think it was.
It was.
Part of the original study that they did, the capital improvement study,
Yeah,
and they didn't do any structural. They didn't look at anything structural. They just said, okay, yeah, the building it could use this, that, the other thing, doors, new windows. They didn't look at. So when that building was built on poles, I assume they go into the ground. And then the poles from, I'll say the underside of it to where the seating, that difference, it's concrete block. And those poles are wrapped in concrete block. So what the poles look like inside there, I have no idea. When Marty Thompson was on board, he had come over at it one time and he kind of just shook his head too. So I think we're gonna have to get somebody in there with.
yeah. I'll dig into it and see what I can find,
Okay.
and if not, we'll see what we'll get an estimate, so.
Okay. All right, great. Got the fair update. Anything else from anybody?
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay,
I'll support.
motion support to adjourn. So moved. We adjourn. Looks like our next meeting is slated for March 19th. That works for everybody. We actually have a pretty busy March here, but I think we're good there. Okay.